Hey, oh, damn it. Hey, happy Tuesday, everybody. You are watching Splash Pages. My name is Leo. I'm the monkey behind the keyboard here. We have an awesome, fun, fantastic show for you, as always. And with us, Jar Jar. How's it going?
Hey, it's just the four of us on a Tuesday night. Just the four of us. We're going to do the news all right. Just the four of us. Splash Pages. Just the four of us. No?
Love it.
Not feeling it?
Oh, yeah. Carrie.
Remember the words. Hey, everybody. Look what I found. A monkey for my keyboard, too. You can sit there.
Nice.
Hey, everybody. Yeah, welcome to Splash Pages. Splash
Yes.
Pages. Splash
Splash.
Pages.
That's what
I'm
it sounds like
Tuesday
when your
night.
head's underwater.
And Nacho would like to say hello. She just heard us come out, apparently. But yeah, happy Tuesday, everybody. Welcome. Wait till we check out Mr. Drew Malo.
Hello there, everybody. It's Danger Drew here. And I've got Lips, Leo, Kaleidoscope Carrie, and Jumpin' Jar Jar. Here to review one of my personal favorites. That's Detective Dick Tracy. How he translated from the comics to the movie screens. And as you can tell, I'm well dressed for the affair. Like
Yes.
Dick Tracy meets Indiana Jones. And by God, I'm glad to be here. Roll it.
Is it shoe gum? No, gumshoe. Gumshoe.
Gumshoe, yeah.
It's shoe gum. I'm like, hold on, that does not sound right at
Yes,
all.
Jar, I prefer to go by my other identity. His name is Tracer Bullet.
Don't chew the shoe gum. It's bad. It's been on the floor. Sticks.
Don't chew the chew gum. Yeah.
Yeah, don't quit your day job, doll.
Yeah. And don't eat the candy don't eat the gum on the ground. It's not free candy.
Yeah.
An Elf quote. I know it's too early for Elf, but
Way too early. Although my
it's
entire
always too
downstairs is decorated. It's like Christmas through up. The only thing not up is the tree.
we went to Starbucks this weekend. We got their holiday drink, the peppermint, and my wife goes, "You got me cheating on Christmas."
They're
Not
already
really
done
cheating.
with pumpkin spice.
It's not really cheating if you're still giving Starbucks the money. That's like, is it cheating if I change the stripper? I'm like, yes. It still is.
They've already released, to get my Coke Zero now, I have to buy Santa packs. Like, the rest of the Cokes are fine, but Coke Zero is only being released now in Santa packs here. So
what I'm hearing,
in my house.
So Carrie, what I'm hearing is you pay more, you get more, and you don't have to worry so much about going to the store for the refills.
You go to refills?
I have no idea.
No,
it's only been 2 days in the week, and I'm like, man, TGIF. It's like that 30 Rock meme. Like, God, what a week. Lemon, it's Tuesday.
What is it? Everybody at work is doing the same thing too. It was like, this has been such a rough week to begin with. You know, it's happening for everybody.
We did an emergency padded cell last night because everybody was going nuts, and we were on for 4 hours and 20 minutes, I think, by the time we were done.
Always breaking my record.
4 hours and 20 minutes, huh?
Yeah, actually, that's under Drew's record, but we did break it before when we went for 5 hours.
Yeah, you did. But that was my first show with Carrie and a group. We went on for 4 straight hours of nothing of substantial of benefit, but yet we went over a lot of things. And you'll have to watch that to learn the horrors that we gave name to.
It's all swirling.
Nice to flush the system.
Jeremy, you can't talk about flush the system because I created a horrible creation with 2 words. Horror dildos.
Hordiddles.
Which goes with my search from last night that we will not discuss because I'm better than that now.
Oh, jeez.
No, this is for the kiddos.
Oh, God.
Right.
Leo, that went on for like 20 minutes. Yeah. because it was like people were having ideas and like
So-
branching.
So Leo, I
Good
did think
evening,
of you.
Tom Dog.
I did think of you recently because I heard about Superman and Lois.
Oh, it got season 4 is going to be the last season. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
Already, huh?
yeah, that's shocking.
Is it just not getting the numbers, or they wrote it that way?
Probably the numbers. Maybe it's just the death knell of the
CW verse.
CW verse. Yeah,
Mm.
I mean, it was going to end eventually. So,
yeah.
Well, some
Just-
CW shows go on for way too long.
Yeah,
like everything else.
Supernatural. I mean, what? I'm so sorry.
Supernatural, like
I'm probably
Supernatural.
not the only one.
seasons.
No, Carrie, trust me, we don't have enough time to go over that. Boy, do we not have enough time to go over that. We don't have 15 seasons worth of time for that.
So, Drew, you're a Next Generation fan, correct?
Oh, you're talking Star Trek?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I thought he was talking about Prince.
Are you
Sorry, what?
Are you watching Lower Decks?
No, I keep missing it. But Leo, even if I'm not paying attention to the chat, I'm still aware, and you will, like you do, like Leo's reviews, where it just be, hey guys, so I don't know what, but I had coffee last night, and I've been up since 2 a.m. and I got all these videos gone, and I watched all these shows, and then I'm like, okay, so Leo's gone. Jar, what do you have left? Like, he was like, yeah, I watched Lower
Leo
Decks.
is
I watched that. I'm like,
wired.
Leo, do not tell me you don't believe in time travel or clones, because there's no way one man, uno hombre, could get all of these things done.
It's a little sleep. That's what it is.
All right, so okay, so what you're on the Da Vinci time schedule? Got the 14-hour micro naps?
Yeah. Yeah.
Jesus Christ, man.
Sleep for 19 minutes at a time.
Actually, I did look into that one time. It's polymorphic sleeping. That's it. I thought about doing that, but I decided not to.
The person who I felt in this group who really, it's basically Carrie.
Oh yeah.
But Carrie is like,
I
no, I must slumber.
Yeah.
It is time.
I tried, like, I've discovered it's sad when I'm looking at my clock and I'm like, you know what? I have to be up in 10 hours. That's going to suck so bad. And then being like, yeah. Dude, when you get yeah. I averaged like 10 hours of sleep throughout all of Terrificon. And I get like 15 or 20 sometimes at home on the regs. It's just, I'll like get up, go take pills, feed the cat, and go right back and lay down. It doesn't even register that I got up.
Yeah.
So yeah, I sleep a lot.
Leo, you have to remember that the reason she was up for those collective 20 hours is who her roommate was.
Yeah, that was the only reason I was awake. Otherwise, I drive my mom nuts on vacations. We're like, okay, we're here to see someplace, and you're sleeping already again after you slept for 10 hours in the car.
And you don't understand, like, and when Carrie sleeps, she kind of cocoons herself. She kind of nests. So it's just a dark, orb that just just bends in and out. And then eventually I'm like, okay, Carrie, time to get up. And then suddenly just a hand emerges. And it's just 5 more minutes. And I'm like, okay. And then she's like, hair.
Yeah, but then you get the, hey, Carrie, it's Drew. I've been up. I've been exercising.
Yeah, and Carrie is just like, Carrie is just like, I don't have.
Zero.
Yeah, Carrie's like,
I'm
grateful for you, but I do not have the energy for all of this right now. So you got to give me 20 minutes to just be like, I didn't die and this isn't help.
Gonna drag you across the floor so you can hit Jose Pierre in the knee with your purse.
You're welcome, doll. That's why they call me Danger.
So
First impression.
what I was going to bring up, Lower Decks.
Sorry.
Do you remember the Next Generation episode where Wesley goes to Starfleet Academy and he joins that team and they go to do that super fancy move that kills a cadet?
Yes.
Okay. And the main leader of their group was the guy that went to go play Tom Paris in Voyager.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So in Lower Decks, that character makes a return, and
Okay.
they have a argument. They keep on saying, but he looks so much like Tom Paris. It's just hilarious. Just you need to watch it. It is.
Well, I'll get there, Leo. So, okay.
Yawning already, Drew.
Jar, I don't have your stoic good looks and charm. You're like an older version of the kid. So stop.
One person says that they enjoy being on the show because of me, and all of a sudden I have stoic good looks. I love it.
I know. Jar's like, wow, I'm doing great today. You know?
Meep,
Okay.
meep.
So, but before we get to that, Beaker, so Dick Tracy.
Dick Tracy.
I need to just prerequisite before we talk about anything this show. I've never seen the movie.
Really?
So this was a first watch for me.
Okay.
I know Carrie had the same reaction. She was like, really? Like,
Well,
really?
I can see
really?
you're a youngin, so
Okay, can you not? Can you stop carbon dating yourself, Mr. Pond? Like you and Jar, like I feel like I should put my glasses on and be like, oh, hello there. Welcome to the Ginger Club. How are you?
I'm wearing my glasses. I can see you guys.
Yeah, there you go. I know. I feel like all I need to do is wear my glasses. And I was like, hello, welcome to 2020 Club. You know, where if you take where we operate on the Velma principle. If we lose our glasses, we are fucked.
Just got to do the biting on the end.
Yeah. Oh yeah, that's the other thing. Best part about Carrie is this. She's like, I cannot see you, and I'm blind. She was like, I am blind, and I was like, Carrie wakes up with Daredevil vision.
Yeah. But I'm nearsighted, so like reading things close, I have to like take off the glasses so I can see things.
It's horrible.
You know?
Oh really?
Yes.
That's
Yeah.
nice.
Story, everyone.
I have to like sit there, hold it up close, tilt my head up a little bit so I read out the bottom of my glasses because I have progressives.
But like I said, I've never watched the movie, and I've also never read any of the Dick Tracy comics. So we're going to get into that a little later when we're talking about this thing. But the one thing I heard is that one of our party did not enjoy this trip down memory lane. Isn't that? I wonder who that could be.
That would be me.
Is that right?
Because I dove right in right when we got our assignment. I was just like, I'm going to take this. Yeah, I was like, I'm going to take this down. I thought I remembered loving Dick Tracy, the movie, and I was wrong.
All right, Jar, hold that thought for a minute because, like I said, we're going to get to some new. We're going to do what we normally don't do. We're going to do the news first. So then we can just talk and then end on that good note.
We're changing it up.
Leo, I understand that you're very much wrapped up in your nerd rhetoric and your regimented way about things, but we got to shift it every once in a while, my man, or else things get stoic. Our fans leave. Okay, last thing we need is people trying to take over the show. It just gets messy, man. It's like Les Mis, but nerdy. Can you hear the nerdy singing the songs of Comic-Con? You know, we don't want that.
The steel just keeps on getting worse and worse.
I'm just telling you, one day we're going to do Splash Pages the musical. It's going to be hilarious.
Leo Pond, shall we get to the news?
You know, I'm just imagining how do I musicalize our intro? And then it's just going to be really funny. So I'm working on. Me and Carrie might put it together. When we were working on Mac the Knife, She has good timing.
I've got the Muppets intro started or done. I've got
Oh yeah, Jeremy, she wrote us a Muppet intro.
Oh, I've seen it.
Yeah, I've got us a number of different intros going. It's fun.
I even sang it
I wake
for
up after
her.
my 15-hour slumber and like, I shall write a parody for Splash Pages. What song today? What's stuck in my head? Okay.
Yeah, you see, Carrie, you have like, you know how like in Thor you have the Odin sleep. You have the Carrie nap. You know, you just wake up and it's just, I am whole again. I shall write, and then I shall read all of the books.
I am the hair.
Exactly. Carrie
I'm
just
the hair that is on the pillow at the night.
Carrie just gets the second you see the scrunchies, it's time.
I'm the hair that is stuck between your teeth.
You know.
That reminds me.
What are you doing?
Did anybody see the Marvel's trailer, the final one?
No, I didn't. Have you?
I think I did.
Yeah. The
I was
internet.
confused.
You were confused?
Yeah, unless maybe I'm thinking of something else. It wasn't. It didn't have the girls in it. So I think, is there something else with Marvels involved, or the word Marvel?
No,
just came out?
No, but the latest trailer starts off. It's definitely showing off like the legacy because it shows like Tony Stark, Captain America. But the internet is all buzz because there's one screen grab where there's a computer screen in the back. In the bottom right, you see what looks like an X logo. And then there's a character.
No. Stop. One. No. Haven't seen it yet. And number two, until I see a school, until I see a uniform, and until I see the M word, you know, the mutants, not metahumans, mutants. No, I confirm nothing.
I'm not confirming anything. I'm just saying the whole internet's a buzz because this one character in white walks by and everybody's freaking out. It's Storm, and it's not going to be Storm.
Thank you, Leo. Thank you.
Well, as a matter of fact, the logo, you know, it could be anything with. It doesn't even look like a full X logo.
It could be Excalibur for all we fucking know. You know,
it's a medical screen, so it could be like. It could be anything.
It could be anything. So I mean, this is the thing. I mean, don't you remember when we were doing WandaVision? Like every character. So it's like, oh my God, could this be? I'm like, no, it's just a character.
Yeah.
You know?
I'm just saying that it's hilarious because it's just one screen grab and then everybody's freaking out because there's something that looks like an X and somebody in white. And obviously, yeah.
You know what it is before we get to the news?
Yeah.
See, I'm taking off my jacket because I'm like, oh, it's time to get the news ready. All right. You know what it really comes down to? It's like how everybody, because the internet is a weatherman, or everyone who has a camera on their phone is a photographer, or everybody who has a laptop is suddenly a writer. You know what I mean? It's the same thing with nerd trajectory. Just because you are a nerd and because Easter eggs are plenty in the Marvel universe doesn't mean everything is. It could just be a small detail. Now, a lot of times they like referencing that because they know people are just checking out with the fine-tooth comb. But at some point, we have to be like, okay, whoa, calm down. It could just be an image. We don't know.
Exactly.
So I'm proud of you, Leo, because you've gone on tirades for Mars. I mean, God forbid it was an M. Leo, but it's Mephisto. I'm like, oh, fuck you.
It's Mephisto, Madam X.
Yeah, we'll find out in a couple days anyway. I'm seeing it on Thursday. So
that would be the same thing if you saw one of the Marvels with a sword. Jeremy like, He-Man, he's part of the Marvel. I'm like,
it's happening. They're bringing all-star comics.
I mean, they did combine He-Man and Turtles, so I mean, it could happen.
They did. My God, I must be the only fan that thinks it looks horrible, because what Freddie Williams did a year or so ago, he had this whole concept to do He-Man or Masters of the Universe versus Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, and he did a bunch of concept art for it.
Right.
And it looked amazing.
Well,
Like
yeah.
Turtles as barbarians and He-Man with samurai swords and stuff like that.
Cool.
Like really dope stuff. And I don't know if you guys have seen the toys that they're putting out.
No.
But they look so
Yeah.
chunky and clunky. Just I'm looking at them. I'm like, maybe I'll pick up Shredder. I don't know.
It's you know what the thing being is, Jar. It's really hard to walk that line between nostalgia and then pushing toward new stuff. Like them releasing the Turtles as they were in the 80s. That's cool because it's a small detail that plays on nostalgia, but also kind of reintroduces that because you're thinking, oh, when the hell were the Turtles like that? Let me go look at this. Oh, there's a new omnibus. I can buy it. Bam. You know, it's not too crazy. But then, you know, it's when you try to do these all different interpretations, trying to pressure new ground. Again, not everything works. It's not supposed to. You're not supposed to love every version. But
the hardest part for me is that they're coming with mini comics, which has an all new story. So it's going to be hard not to actually open the packages.
Right. Because you're going to want to know what the story is.
I really do.
That's why you buy two of them.
Don't do that collector shit. Oh, I buy one for display, one to collect, and one to open. And I'm like, so you're buying three.
Tom, if you've ever seen Freddie Williams' concept art, it just far superior to what I saw for these toys. And don't get me wrong, I know I'm not no longer the focus for these toys anymore.
Target market.
Yeah, target audience.
Focus
I'm not that one.
Be honest. Yes, we are the target market. You know, because they're not.
I want to be honest, but they missed me.
Well, yeah, I know, but it's all the toys nowadays are focusing on, you know, us elder dorks. You know, it's not going
really
after parents anymore. It's
it is true. Like we are the target audience because we're the nostalgia heads. Yep. We're like, oh, I remember when this was. You know, I'm gonna go make a PB&J and get a glass of milk, and I'm gonna enjoy this. And
your 6-year-old
and then people like Carrie are like, oh, the horror.
No, it's your 6-year-old doesn't care that it has 54 points of articulation.
No, they really don't.
You totally do.
You know what it comes down to?
They'd be happy with the McDonald's toy. And we're like, and I'm saving up $1,200 so that I can get this limited edition Ghost Rider that was cast in copper.
I have twin 5-year-old nephews that every time they come over, they want to come check out my room. So I make sure to have a toy for each of them that can be opened.
No, Jeremy, that you need to call that what that is. That's called bribery.
Oh, it is.
That's 100%.
And they love Uncle Journey.
Well, yeah, you keep listen, I'm telling you, man, the second you cut them off,
oh, it's going down.
It's like cutting off a meth addict. They are just going to become monsters. Like, so enjoy being the golden god for right now, because when you fall, brother, it is gonna you will be the ginger demon.
They'll be going to the bathroom and they're gonna hold each other up so they can get one of the comics off the ceiling and start coloring it in. You know?
Oh yeah, and just wait for him to find it.
That day I will choose violence.
Jerry's like, honey, bring me the sword.
Yeah,
by the power.
Your nephews are done. They're not mine anymore.
So we're almost at the half-hour mark.
Keep the padlock on the door.
There is a padlock on the door already.
He's ready. So
I love you.
I think we should, especially because we got still some ground to cover. I say we just get the news done, and then we can talk about Dick Tracy for the rest of the time.
We can. We'll kick it off right now. I think this is the first one because I don't know. Is that
a blonde Punisher?
Yes.
Yeah. So timeless. No, this is not timeless. I'm sorry. We're out of order here.
Leo, do you want me to start this and you can pick this up?
I got it.
Okay, I'm just making sure.
Okay. So Punisher #1 is going to come out on November 8th. It's written by David Pepose. I know I said that wrong. He's known for
good to me.
Savage Avengers, Moon Knight, City of the Dead.
Mm-hmm.
So Punisher is back. So the Frank is he's like in a different universe now, right?
Yeah.
He's also
So
a cosmic
basically,
Ghost Rider.
Leo, just to give you that context, Frank Castle was essentially the enforcer for the Hand at one point, which brought him into conflict with essentially a lot of the Marvel heroes, because Frank Castle is kind of running the show for the Hand, who is a mystical Yakuza-like crime organization, as we remember from their many battles with Daredevil. So at the end of Punisher 12, Frank was defeated and captured by the Avengers about what to do with him. And then before he could be judged, he disappeared. So essentially, he's not dead. He actually has been transported to Weird World, where he is essentially now their protector. He's the guardian of Marvel's Weird World, which honestly, I'm not really sure what more we can do with Frank Castle. So I'm like, all right, cool. Sheriff of Weird World it is. So, but of course, just like every
Sounds
world,
fun.
there needs to be a Batman. So in this universe, there needs to be a Punisher. So you got the new guy, Frank Garrison. So
Yeah, and he used to work for Shield. And so we have a couple sample images that popped up.
and this is from his artist, Dave Watcher. We really should learn how to pronounce people's names before
we're getting there.
So the synopsis:
Baby steps.
Frank Castle has disappeared, but evil will always need to be punished. With all new threats rising to claim innocent victims, criminals will need to be aware or beware of dangerous vigilante hunting them from the shadows. Who is the new Punisher? What put him on this path of vengeance? And when the smoke clears, will he even make it out alive? So the cover did show, I mean, we see an outline of him. Well, we do see his face. It is a blonde Punisher. I'm not sure how I feel about this, you know?
Well, essentially, when the character was first announced, the writer, David Pepose, he basically said, and Carrie, this might strike a chord with you, he said he wanted to introduce the Danny Ketch to Frank's Johnny Blaze.
Yeah.
So that's
fair.
That's Pepose's approach to it, because he's a former Black Ops agent who's hell-bent on finding and killing the criminals that killed his family. So when you have that context, it's like throwing a new coat of paint on a car, like brand new. I'm like, is it though? So, I mean, listen, people probably thought the same thing when Danny Ketch came out, and that guy's still going. I mean, it's weird thinking of the Punisher as anybody but Frank Castle, but I mean, you got to give credit for Marvel trying something new.
Well, that, and we know the Punisher has received bad rap as of recently. So, a change in look, change in the character is, I think we all saw this coming.
Yeah, it's really disappointing, because the character has had some really good story arcs, some really good runs, and he's very much among the more memorable characters within the Marvel repartee. But unfortunately, a lot of political events, a lot of bad association has created a kind of weird relationship in Marvel where it's, you want to use him, but you don't like what kind of happens when you use him. And you saw that great example with the Netflix series. Yes, John Bernthal is supposed to come back as Frank Castle in a lot of the new Marvel stuff. But notice, as the show went on, Frank used guns a lot less. So,
more as a defense.
Yeah.
I always associate Frank Castle as somebody who looks natural, sitting down with that look of just stay the fuck away. That's not really angry. He radiates that kind of thing. and he looks perfectly well sitting at a table with a bottle of wild turkey and a glass that he may or may not be using. And this guy looks more
Wolverine.
Yeah, so it's specifically wild turkey though. There are just certain things that go together. Logan can have pretty much anything, I think, on a bottle. Well, it would be a bourbon.
Beer.
Yeah, I don't see him drinking beer. Yeah, maybe a beer.
That's a beer.
I don't think I can see him drinking wine, but this guy looks a little bit more like maybe a vodka guy. I don't know. But it's worth a change.
Straight up or on the rocks?
For me, I always felt Frank Castle. I would have loved to have seen what a conversation between Frank Castle and John Wick would have been like. I feel like that would have been a wonderful conversation because they're both these very versatile killers who somehow, despite amazing odds, always seem to come out.
Just wrote a what if, Drew.
You're welcome.
What if Frank Castle met
somebody?
What the hell? Friggin' Drew is a mind reader because he wasn't on yet. We were talking about John Wick before he came on.
Yeah.
There you go.
The new friggin' Mark Wahlberg trailer dropped.
Yes. And when you said that, the first thing I saw was the title should be, Mark Wahlberg, say hi to your mother for me. 2022. But that's just because I'm forever holding on to bad jokes. And with that in mind, what's next on news, Leo?
Well, before we do that, just so I can get everybody's thoughts, who's your favorite Punisher in film or shows? Dolph Lundgren, Thomas Jane,
up there.
Ray
Thomas
Stevenson.
Jane was really good. So was Ray Stevenson.
Or John Berthal.
One of the first three. I'm probably going to go with Ray.
Ray?
Yeah. That one was the one where they were like throwing people through walls and shit, right?
Yes.
Yeah. That was.
I'm sorry. I'm going to give, for me, it's a tie between Tom Jane and John Berthenol, because Tom Jane was a better Punisher than people gave him credit. And if anybody argues that, I got two words for you: dirty laundry. That short,
yes,
was just. I rewatch it every once in a while, and I have never looked at a whiskey body the same, because I was like, you could take out 6 guys with this goddamn bottle, like fucking hell. But then John Berthenol did a wonderful job with Frank Castle, where I think he really got the trauma down. He really got the PTSD, the trauma, the survivor's guilt, the military side of Frank very well. Because I look at John Berthenol, he's Punisher year 2. He's still very young to it. But I feel like in some ways, I feel like Stevenson's is kind of, I agree with Jeremy, is like the evolution. That is what Frank will become.
Yeah.
Just a force of fucking nature. Like, does not give a fuck, will just obliterate. He does not care. The second you are guilty, you are consuma non gratis. You are just done. Does not give a fuck. Hey there, Dennis. But that's what I say. Carrie, what do you think?
Put down that wine.
God damn it. Soaked in bourbon bottles. So good. No, I don't actually know which actor it was. The only Punisher I remember watching, because I've only watched one movie, and that was the one where he lived in the apartment building full of misfits and was like their protector and sat there and drank the wild turkey, and then in the end, I think he blew a bunch of cars with
It's Tom Jane.
Okay, so there we go. That's my Punisher.
Cool.
And Leo, since you asked it.
Yeah, I go with Tom Jane. Definitely Berthal is a close second, but I go with Tom Jane.
And And you know what's the sad thing is? When you rewatch the Dolph Lundgren movie, you realize visually he looks the part, but the rest of the movie is garbage.
Oh yeah, but that was 89. So
Yeah, like the only way he's even the Punisher is because he throws that knife that has a skull on it, and I was just like,
You don't like driving a motorcycle through the sewers.
no. Although I did like one line from that Punisher movie, which I thought was pretty good, which was, Frank, what do you call killing 100 men? Practice. I was like, that's a Frank Castle line,
Yeah.
you know.
No,
But
I got love for Dolph Lundgren just because he played He-Man. I'm like, I can't help it.
no,
Love the
you.
guy. I got an autographed picture of him back here. Yeah. Love him. I'm a nerd.
I just found that
Nice.
weird that we're talking about this. I just found a Punisher shirt in my room. Like I was going through all the black t-shirt because, I mean, you guys have never seen me outside of a black t-shirt, I don't think, except my Comics Paradox one. But
1 second, Carrie. What's a comic dub? Is somebody
Club,
in the
I
chat
think.
just? Oh, comic club.
no,
I'm
that-
assuming.
well, he says
Or-
No,
comic-
that's a dub.
yeah. So I'm assuming just reading it. You know, kind
Oh,
of
kind of.
kind of like what we did with Batman.
Oh, really?
okay.
They did a round table? Nice.
Oh,
Hey,
yeah.
Joe,
nice.
hey, listen.
Oh, they animated it.
Yeah,
Oh, wow.
Dennis, send us a link.
Please do.
Yeah. We love
But
that.
it's Joe approved, everybody. So you know that man, who again we have to thank for being such a good sport with our Halloween intro, was hilarious.
Oh, that was
um,
awesome.
Yeah, that was beautiful. And Jeremy, I particularly enjoyed your costume of the nonchalant soul eater. You know,
Soldier?
yeah,
I
you
did
know,
a
ginger
costume?
soul eaters. You know,
Oh, gotcha.
yeah, you know, because we had you know Demogorgon Pumpkin Face over here, and then you had you know Bat Carrie, and then you had the Stay Puff Mallow Man, and then you had Jeremy the
Gorilla
Soul
Joe.
Eater. So I was like, and then we had Mighty Joe Young, so it was perfect. So, and if you don't know what we're talking about, you should really watch our show every Tuesday. So
Watch the show.
Sure.
Yes,
Comes out
but
every Tuesday, folks.
Leo,
Back to the news.
we've bantered enough, Leo. Let's move on to the next one.
This is me. It's me. Hold on. I got notes.
It's me, Jeremy.
All right. So in 2024, DC Comics is set to continue Dawn of DC narrative with the highly anticipated launch of Titans Beast World.
Yes.
I know, right? The series, crafted by the creative team of Tom Taylor, Ivan Rice, Danny Miki, promises to be a pivotal event with far-reaching consequences for DC's publishing agenda in the coming year.
Mhm.
Story commences with Titans Beast World #1, scheduled to hit stores on November 28th. As the Necrostar, an immensely powerful being with a voracious thirst for conquest, awakens, the Titans and coalition of DC's most iconic superheroes band together to confront this existential threat. An unexpected twist emerges as Gar Logan, known as Beast Boy, employs his transformative abilities to combat the colossal star-shaped cosmic entity. Now, the series debuts issues. They boast a compelling main cover illustrated by Ivan Rice and Danny Miki and Brad Anderson, along with variant covers, because we all love variant covers.
Of course.
By Bruno Redondo, Bjorn Berenda, Stanley Artgerm Lau, and notably Bjorn Berenda will be contributing variant covers for all 6 issues of Beast World, which will eventually form a cohesive connecting image across the series, where I kind of fall in and I'm like, oh, okay, maybe variants aren't so bad.
So connecting covers is what does it for you, Jar Jar.
It really, that, or they're also doing lenticular covers for this series.
Yeah.
Which that also pulls me in. I bought when DC did the first one, Forever Evil.
Right.
They did. I have every single one of them.
Yeah, they were pretty cool depending on the art. I did have a couple of those, and I will say they were pretty cool. I mean, listen, I have to say this as a fan who's been really enjoying Tom Taylor's run on Nightwing and then his stuff with Titans. I'm so pumped for this. The artwork looked gorgeous. I mean, Ivan Reese, Arias. I'm not really, again, Splash Pages will get better at names in 2024. But till then, I mean, his work is always gorgeous. Green Lantern, Blackest Night, Jeff Johns' run on Aquaman. I mean, the man could do it. So the second I found out he was the artist, I was like, this shit is gonna look gorgeous. And then all these images that we just saw are just beautiful. And then even the variant covers. I mean, look at that,
really
that Wonder Girl. It's stunning.
My guess
her belly button.
That must be the art germ.
That's the art germ one.
Yeah.
Her costume is so detailed you can see her belly button, which seems
really large, he's good like that. And then you got that's I think the Bajorn Berens, and then the last one that's awesome. Bruno Redondo. I'd recognize his art style anywhere.
I think I
want
like
to see what
Bjorn's
the whole connecting cover looks like.
Yeah, and then especially Necrostar. I think they've been hinting that essentially Beast Boy will basically turn into a Gar version of Starro the Conqueror to fight Necrostar, which is just crazy when you think about it. That's a huge form. I'm just like, wow, this is going to be big, especially since the Titans are right now the Justice League for the DC universe.
Yeah.
So I'm really excited to see it. Check out. Although I gotta say this, you guys notice there hasn't been a lot of DC news besides Schmotham War. Shut up, Leo.
You said it. You didn't say it.
You know,
Gotham War.
Yes, there hasn't been a lot of news. So when I saw this, I was like, oh wow, nice. DC is.
Well, they're holding back for their cinematic universe, I think.
Probably.
Because they're supposed to be cohesive with the cinematic and the comics. So then again, Marvel tried to start doing that at one point, and it just didn't work out. It's a huge undertaking.
Well, Batman was at it's not 189. What issue dropped today?
140 or 139?
139. Yeah, that dropped today.
Mm-hmm.
I'll be reading that tonight.
Yeah, I started reading that. That has some promise.
Okay.
It looks like
who's the writer?
Chip Zdarsky.
Okay, so
I think he was forced into Gotham War because he didn't write the whole thing. But he did write the ending to it.
So you're giving him a pass?
I'm giving him a pass that he was kind of forced into it. But
they took him down at DC and were just like, write it, Gotham War now.
Yeah.
I think he's using it as the whole Gotham War as the a way to separate Batman from the Bat family. So Batman is like on his own now.
I mean, Leo, you're dadding the DC universe right now. It's like, okay, you're at a pass, but DC, don't do that again. You're on thin ice, buddy.
Speaking of Zdarsky, Chip released another issue of Sex Criminals a while back. If you are subscribed to his newsletter.
Oh, wow. I did not know that.
Yeah. So
I got to finish that.
New Zdarsky. Yeah. You ever finished it?
No. I read books and then I either forget because I just kind of get distracted and I peter off. But I'm kind of like a human boomerang. I'll find my way back eventually. I take my sweet time.
Okay. There was also a Gary special edition side one. So
I just also realized I look like an ad salesman, or an 80s dad. Just looking at the tie and the shirt, I'm sipping from a cup. I was like, yeah, it was good times. Yeah, good stuff there. Let's keep going with the news, Mr. Bond.
Yeah.
Oh yes.
All right. Okay, so
there's a lot going
on. This is the Marvel Blood Hunt event, and this is going to be the next major event in the Marvel universe that's going to take place next year. It's to be based around vampires with a healthy dose of the other supernatural elements that we already have in the Marvel Universe joining in. They announced it at New York Comic Con, but there's going to be a new central title by writer Jed McKay, who's currently writing The Avengers, Moon Knight, and Doctor Strange, along with artists Pepe Larraz and I want to say Garcia, but it's Marie Gracia, who seems to have, and it looks to have a lot of vampires rising, as well as a bunch of heroes. They're fighting for world supremacy. Well, the vampires are, but heroes don't want world supremacy. But we should expect a number of tie-in issues, as well as other series coming into this. Most likely The Avengers, Moon Knight, Midnight Mission, Doctor Strange, Miles Morales, and Blade, and then a couple of other new limited series and one-shots to redefine the status quo. And we're going to learn more about this on the 2024 Free Comic Book Day releases. So there you go, folks.
Free Comic Book
Make
Day.
sure you get up there. Free Comic Book Day.
So
we're all going to have to celebrate.
So DC did vampires, so now Marvel needs to do it.
Basically.
Apparently.
And I just want to add one of Marvel's events, because we have another storyline that talks about another event.
All right. Well, this is one of Marvel's major events. It's the vampire one. That's what I care about. So there, Leo.
I just need to say this. I feel like a lot of the times, minus Tomb of Dracula and most Blade stories, I feel like anytime Marvel does vampires, it does not go well. Like I remember they did that back with the X-Men crossing over with like Dracula back in the day. They even did an Ultimates arc that had vampires trying to take over the Ultimates universe. And I just remember each time reading it, and I was like, this is okay. But it's never like, oh, wow, vampires. Yeah. Cool. I was just like,
Morbius.
Yeah, exactly. Like, not like
Night Stalkers. Still love Night Stalkers.
It's Morbin time.
Okay, Leo.
Sorry, wrong.
Leo.
Wrong.
You better give me the next news article.
No.
It's like we got some comments to go through.
Oh gods.
Okay, so this is one of mine. Marvel's God series by Hickman and Valerio Schiti are tapping Ron Leem, who we know from his great work on Silver Surfer, the Infinity Gauntlet, and much else, to create a collection of homage variants for the God series. So the Marvel House has commissioned him to do 6 variant covers, essentially paying tribute to his own cover art for the 1990s series Cosmic Powers. So you're going to see these starting from issue 3 of Gods all the way to the end, issue 8. So this right here, what we're seeing, the creature being the cosmic entity known as Oblivion, is the cover for the one that'll be released in December. Gods 2, which is supposed to hit stores tomorrow, sees Wynn, who is the avatar of the powers that be, teaming up with Doc Strange and his ex-wife Clea to find the Cubics core as the culprit behind the Babylon event, which is the megaton giant event of all events, while Wynn's ex-wife, Aiko, who is the Centaur for the natural order of things, attempts to recruit someone new. So the December issue 3 solicitation is only been revealed as Cassandra is cursed with knowing the future, but no one believes her. There are black swans in the bar. Oblivion wants to drink alone, but these kids these days don't respect authority figures. Most of the ingredients are illegal outside of Hell's Kitchen. So black swans are, of course, a reference to characters that we saw during Hickman's run of Avengers. I believe one of them was an entity that joined Thanos and Namor's version of the Illuminati back when they were dealing with incursions, which was, the Earths colliding with each other from parallel worlds. Listen, I've been following Gods, and I have to say the first issue was really solid.
It was good.
Hickman does really great work. I haven't paid much attention to his X-Men stuff, but things like G.O.D.S and especially his work on the upcoming Ultimate Universe, I'm very excited about. So I'm always down for giving great artists like Ron Leem more work. I've met Ron. He's a fantastic artist. He's super friendly. And it's also a reference to work that he did back in the 90s, which I'm always down with. I never even knew that there was a series called Cosmic Powers. But the thing with these variants is we're going to see other powerful cosmic entities, Living Tribunal, Master Chaos, Lord Order, Infinity, and Eternity. So I think it's a win-win. So
yeah. No,
So
I
win-win.
enjoyed the first issue. I can't wait to read the second issue tomorrow.
there you go. Yep.
The first issue was really easy to follow, even for a person like me who doesn't know a ton about the Marvel Universe. I think they did a great job. So.
Absolutely. So definitely add that to your list, Carrie and Leo.
I already read it. I'm there.
There you go.
I'm on it. I'm catching up.
I still need to read the new Ultimates also.
You do. Here. You do. Both of you need to. Carrie's caught up, and she agrees with me. They're doing some cool stuff, man.
And we also got Raz to get started on a new comic book. In the comments,
is he doing Immortal Hulk or regular Hulk?
He's gonna start with Immortal Hulk and then move on up to the new Incredible Hulk because it's built off of that. So
yeah, especially a horror fan like Raz is really gonna love the horror elements in Immortal, and especially what Philip Kennedy Johnson is doing with Incredible is just more up that alley. So more power to you, horror comics. And G.O.D.S issue 3 on sale December 20th. Issue 4 will be January 24, 2024. And like I said, G.O.D.S issue 2 tomorrow. So check that out.
Woohoo! Awesome. So we were talking about Marvel events. There is another Marvel event happening next year, and it is being kicked off with Timeless #1, which is coming out December 27th. So this is written by Colin Kelly and Jackson Lansing.
And they're everywhere, man.
And art is by Juan Cabal. So it's going to be glimpses into the future of Marvel for 2024. Essentially, we're going to be seeing the end of this event, where it's going to be an evil Moon Knight powered by Stark technology, is battling the last superhero, which happens to be Power Man. And Power Man has the Iron Fist. He also has the power of the Hulk. And one other character,
the Sentry.
The Sentry, yes.
Yeah, and well, that's the thing. And on top of it, I mean, his adversary, the immortal Moon Knight, you got Stark Tech, you got the Eternal Machine, and you've got Moon Knight power, all combined into one entity. I mean, that's a hell of a villain. So naturally, if it's Power Man, which again, we can't even say if it's going to be Luke Cage, it could be somebody else. I mean, it obviously looks like Luke.
Yeah.
But
obviously this is in the future. And Jar Jar, you asked how did that happen? Obviously, you got to read all of Marvel next year, because they're only telling us what is happening. This is like the end battle, and then all of 2024, we're gonna find out how it got that way.
And also, for everyone's edification, they've been doing Timeless as kind of setting up the next year of events. It's kind of like the bookend. They did it, I think, 2 years ago, and this is the third one of the Timeless ones that we've seen. So it's pretty interesting. And the first two were written by Bloodhunt's Jed MacKay. So you had that continuity. But this year, the golden duo of Lanzig and Kelly, aka Hive Mind, as they like to call themselves now, who I feel like we've seen everywhere this year. They were on Captain America. They're on Guardians. They're doing The Outsiders for DC. They're doing books. Like, you got to give credit there when they're everywhere. They're everywhere, my man. Like back in the day when you couldn't open a book without finding something next to it that Brian Michael Bendis wrote.
I didn't mind that. I like Bendis.
Yeah. Enjoy it while it lasts, Terry.
Before we get to the next news item, I meant to say this earlier, but I saw something this week that I thought of you, Jar Jar. You know, we keep on mentioning variant covers. Looks like DC has decided to do a series of variant covers with utilizing the McFarlane figures.
Oh.
So the McFarlane figures are doing like they have a.
Do you have an image?
I can hold on.
Oh
I have
no.
one. They got Batman Frozen. They're doing fighting the Frozen comics.
I feel like Leo does this thing where when he's like, "Oh, let me do." Yep. Gonna call this everyone. We're gonna call these segments "Scrolling with Leo." It's a POV of what it's like to be on Leo's computer. Doop 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 doop.
Okay, so these are all the variants for this week.
No. Focus on the one you need.
That's how I need to find it. It's a variant cover. So we have let's see. There's the Bane one. There's a cool Superman one as well. Yeah.
Shazam!
And
Hey, Leo,
So-
are you one of those people that has 16 tabs open in your mind and you don't know how to close them, and one of them is definitely playing music?
yeah.
Cool. Yeah, I had a feeling.
Okay,
That's
so
interesting.
yeah, and the Superman one's pretty cool too.
Can you close up on it?
Yeah, can you we can see it, but can our audience see it? Okay, that's kind of cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I wouldn't buy it, but I can admit that that's cool.
And this is back for the new Superman 78. Superman 78 is back.
Right.
Superman 78?
Yeah.
No kidding.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah. The Metal Curtain is the storyline.
Right.
Oh.
Okay.
So yeah, just wanted to share that. I thought of you, Jar Jar, because comics and toys, you know.
Because you think that's what Jar does with his toys when no one's noticing. He does his own little covers.
I used to have them go out into the fields and play with the plants.
Have you seen what Dan does when he's writing Daredevil? He takes out his little characters and he'll pose them and make them do things. And then, like, sometimes when he's putting up elements of the script on his Facebook page, there'll be like a little Daredevil figure like in an action pose doing what's being written on the script. And he had one recently where he was like reading a book and he had him posed and it was like 48 pages. My hands aren't that strong. It's so cute.
Oh my god, that is pretty cute.
Chichester's just like, action figures, help me right now. So it's like, yeah.
Leo, next, please.
Action figure powers activate.
No, what you're thinking is Action League now. Thank you. All right.
Okay.
Jar, this is you.
Yeah, hold on. Gotta get it. Okay. Commencing a thrilling 60 years. Can you believe 60 years since
60 years?
Holy cow. Black Widow and Hawkeye. This electrifying new chapter in the dynamic duo's saga is orchestrated by Marvel's rising stars. The story unfolds through the creative genius of Stephanie Phillips, renowned for her exceptional work on titles like Contest of Chaos and Cosmic Ghost Rider, while Paolo Villanelli, currently crafting cosmic wonders in Captain Marvel, Dark Tempest, brings the artwork to life. This explosive 4-issue series delves deep into the duo's shadowy history of espionage, interlacing it with the recent developments, including Natasha Romanoff's intriguing alliance with a symbiote.
Oh, God.
Is it symbiote or symbiote?
Symbiote.
Yeah.
Okay, we are doing symbiote.
Mm-hmm.
Damn you, Marvel.
Wait, Black Widow is going to be with the symbiote?
She's bonded with a symbiote right now.
Yeah.
What?
In the eyes of a hawk and the venom of a widow, Black Widow and Hawkeye's unwavering bond shines through even in times of utter mistrust as their paths at times veer in different directions. When Clint Barton becomes the center of controversy, accused of a rogue assassination attempt, igniting tensions between the U.S. and Madripoor. Natasha Romanoff, now equipped with a symbiote, leaps to his aid without hesitation as the echoes of their shared history reverberate into the present, it will take every ounce of their faith in each other and the lessons they've learned along the way to protect uncertain futures. But yeah, seems she is now connected. And what better weapon for a super spy?
Absolutely.
I think they're overdoing the whole symbiote thing, but like with her, I liked the Venom they did where he was a spy. I thought that was a great idea.
Agent Venom.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Agent Venom. That was really cool stuff. So I think this is a good idea. Maybe overplayed, but might bring some life into Black Widow.
I agree. And on top of it, I think a 4-issue series is a perfect amount of length. You can tell a good enough story with that. And here's the thing. If it gets a lot of success, they'll keep it going. And that's how a lot of really good series started. It was, that's how Spider-Gwen started. It was one shot, but it was so big that it then got a 4-parter. And when that sold out, then it got more. So honestly, I agree with you, Jar. Like, the Venom thing is 100% overplayed. But this, I'm like, okay, you know what? I might check out issue 1 just to see what it's about.
Yeah.
What do you guys think?
I really love the
Carrie,
relationship
Leo?
between. I love the relationship between Natasha and Clint. I think they've always had they're so bonded as at least from what I've read and what I've seen. They're just like, you almost think there's romance going on for a while, but it's mostly just like the tightest friendship and most understanding sibling type of bond that, yeah, I love it.
Agreed.
So all I got to say, Jar Jar, you said their relationship reverberates
Through time.
Yeah, but
in space.
Wouldn't that shake off the symbiote?
Oh,
Leo, can you give me the next news and stop your dad puns? We still got to talk about Dick Tracy.
Well, I was also gonna say is Black Widow gonna become the next Spider Fam? Like, is it now Black Widow Spider?
Leo,
hey, it fits. She's a Black Widow, so
Leo, stop being like Gretchen trying to make Spider Fam work. Okay, it's not the new fetch. So roll me some news and stop it.
Okay, break out the 20-sided dice. Here we go. We'll roll this.
Here we go.
All right.
Carrie.
So we got the Creep Show Holiday Special 2023, issue number 1. Way back in 1982, we had the release of the movie Creep Show with George Romero and Stephen King behind it. And then we got the Creep Show comic trade paperback, which is the first comic I ever read, by the way. It was in my library in my small hometown. And now they have a series going on. Skybound Entertainment is running a Creep Show series on Shudder, which is produced and licensed by Cartel Entertainment. But they are releasing the Creep Show Holiday Special Comic 2023 number 1. It is a one-shot by Daniel Kraus, Jonathan Waychak, James Asmus, and Letitia Captain-Ichi. And it gives us 2 stories. Kraus and Waychak will be bringing us this one here, The Christmas Man. And Asmus and Captain-Ichi offer up The Package Thief. Showing there. It'll be hitting the stores on December 6th with the cover by DM March, along with variant covers by Jonathan Waychak and Adriana Lucas. And there will be a 1 to 10 incentive cover by Jorge Corona and Jean-Francois Bellew. And the whole deal was brokered by Stryker Entertainment. So, yay for Creep Show for Christmas. So, I'm excited.
Carrie's buying
traditionally,
that one.
Okay, I'm a storytelling person, and traditionally, like, Christmas was when you brought out the horror stories. It's the dark time of the year. You get everybody scared. You do everything. That's why we have, like, all the traditions of horror stories at Christmas. That's why we have A Christmas Carol. It was written because that's what you did at the time. So you got to bring out the horror for Christmas.
Well, go for it, Drew.
No, I was going to say, yes, Carrie, that is an old British tradition that on Christmas or around Christmas Day time, you would read ghost stories, which Christmas Carol a lot of time fit that bill. And also it's another reason why Mike Mignola, he releases a Christmas issue or like a Christmas anthology has been doing that the last couple of years, where it's Christmas themed or holiday stories around that time. So continuing that tradition of spooky stories for the holidays, and hey, why not?
Normally, I couldn't.
Krampus.
Normally, I couldn't really get behind that, but I know it's not really full on horror. But like last couple years with Fat Man and then Violent Night, I think I can get behind, some crazy Christmas.
Well, Gremlins is a horror.
Oh yeah,
Christmas.
Gremlins, yeah.
And in traditions, you have Krampus, you have the Yule Lads, all sorts of different crazy things, because it was the darkest time of the year. So all the way back in time, this is when you're waiting for the sun to start getting longer, the days to start getting longer, the sun to be out more.
Right.
They quit sacrificing people, so they started scaring the hell out of them in other ways. So,
or have they?
And the same. Oh God. And then the same thing with Samhain. The Celts and the Irish, they celebrated it for a similar reason. Is because it was a tradition of celebrating when the nights grew longer and darker, and thus usually was a sign of more prevalence in the evil spirits. So it was kind of like paying their respect, so they'll leave you the fuck alone.
Are any of you guys haters of Christmas, or are you guys all like? I'm a big supporter of Christmas. I love Christmas. I think the time of year is magical.
Jar, I'm probably going to be the closest thing you ever meet to meeting Santa. Plus, I own the suit. So,
do you have a Santa suit? That's awesome.
Mm-hmm.
Are you
Santa,
wear it
I know him.
I know him.
I also own a Buddy the Elf costume, so you'll see.
I'm sorry, Raz.
Sorry, Raz. It's okay. You can be Splash Page's Krampus.
I'm a huge kid at this time of year.
You can be Krampusnacht.
I've already purchased half of my white elephant gift for this year. My family on one side on both sides, we're getting old enough that all the kids and there's some grandkids, going around, and so it's like I can't afford to buy 32 presents this year, so we just do the white elephant thing.
Okay, so cool. So okay, Carrie, can you use your puzzle box? I think Raz is learning a little bit of a timeout. He's going a little hard on the Christmasness.
Yeah, well, we all have our right for things.
Yeah, no. What I'm saying is, do the Krampus thing. Put him in a sack and beat him with sticks. Thank you.
We should just do a reading of A Christmas Carol.
No, we already did Noel. That's the better reading. And how are we going to beat? And how are we going to beat? I'm sorry. I will forever bring it up. How are we going to beat Leo's fantastic Joker impression?
That's true.
That was I'm sorry. That was still. I'm so glad someone recorded our reactions, because my face was like that meme of the guy watching something and his mouth's like this.
You should do up shorts of that, actually, Leo.
There is a great Hellraiser Christmas special comic that goes into it's like a
oh Jesus.
No.
And the Lord Zypzarnik and
Zyptotec.
Zyptotec.
Well, we have such presents to give you. No. Well, listen. We can talk about how we're going to have a Splash Pages Christmas later. Right now, more news. God, it's like herding cats. Yes. Okay. Everybody who's been watching the show the last couple of weeks, since pretty much last couple of months, knows that the Ultimate Universe is back, and this is the first look at Peach Momoko's Ultimate X-Men. She is writing and doing the artwork, so this is her vision on her take of mutant kind in a prelude story, and that right there is the design sheet for 2 of the series stars, a new version of the X-Men who we know as Armor, and another hero who she helped create, Maystorm. So the synopsis, of course, is Hisako Ichiki is a teenage girl who just wants a normal life. Go to school, hang out with friends, ignore the political strife boiling after the events of Ultimate Invasion, but life, of course, has other plans. In Japan, urban legends have begun springing to life and bring some new and unusual powers with them. Meet Armor, Maystorm, and a group of new Ultimate X-Men, the likes of which have never seen. So those who may recognize Maystorm from Peach's X-Men 27 New Champions variant. So that was her take on the Storm protege. So it was essentially the first time we saw a new champion make the transition to the pages of comic. And it was completely unexpected. She was made for the new variants, new champions variant cover program. Momoko liked her design and just wanted to tell the story. And, you know, the Ultimate Universe being a place where you can tell those kind of stories that you don't have to worry about continuity and whatnot is the perfect place. So March 6th next year, we're going to get Ultimate X-Men issue 1. It'll be the last book out of the 3 titles that we've already seen announced. The first one being January with Ultimate Spider-Man. Then the second one, I believe, is February with Ultimate Black Panther, and then Ultimate X-Men. Again, I'm very pumped by this, and I'm really curious to see what Peach's vision of the X-Men is going to be, especially since she's doing both writing and art. So those are always pretty dope. So
and this will be a big collector issue since she's doing both of those things. This is
absolutely.
Kind of like
I mean, I'm already down for my shop getting all 3 series just to see how they go. So Marvel is my version of The Godfather, you know. Just when they thought I was out, they pulled me back in.
What's her name again? May what?
Maystorm.
Oh, I thought you were talking about.
Shouldn't it be
Definitely Will Storm.
I was trying to pull a bad joke out of it, but I couldn't.
Is it something are you sure you weren't going to say, oh, should it be SHIT Storm?
No,
and I was like, get out.
No, I was going to say, shouldn't it be April Storm and her sister
Showers.
Okay, Leo, Leo, we don't have time for your BS right now. Get with the next news story, and I swear to God.
Although, if we got to remember her, if Mitch asks us again who to get at his show, I've got to meet this person because they seem to be taking the comic world by storm. Like,
yes,
big every time something hits with her, there's like big news around it. So,
and for all of you who haven't yet read, well, first the entire first Ultimate series, series is, and then go out now, read Ultimate Invasion and the Ultimate Annual. It's the Ultimate what annual?
It's Ultimate Universe.
The Ultimate Universe. Ultimately, okay. Yeah. It's so good. Oh my God. Even if you didn't like the Ultimate before, you're going to be like, oh, you did. Oh, that was sly. That was slick.
For sure.
It's got some of that going for it. So sorry. Okay.
So, Leo, is there any more news?
There's one last news item, and it happens to be mine. And
a Blood Phoenix.
I
like
that.
That is Mark Brooks's artwork, and by God, he's just getting better and better every year.
You know, doing all the clips that I have been, it's just funny to listen to Chris Claremont talk about like these characters that were supposed to be like a one-off. Like Phoenix was supposed to be a one-off, and Krakoa was supposed to be a one-off. And
I'm sorry, that is one of the best starts to a clip I've ever seen. You just bring up Krakoa, and he's like, "Don't even get me started." I'm like, the Claremont shade.
Yeah. So X-Men Forever is a 4-issue series. This is going to be starting in March of 2024. It's written by Kieran Gillian and art by Luca Maresca.
Yes.
Kieran is the co-creator of Dr. Aphra. And he's also a Hugo nominated for The Wicked and the Divines and Glass Media Award for Young Avengers. So he's
Dr.
quoted
Aphra from Star Wars.
Yes.
Correct. Yeah.
And Leo, he also did a lot of work back in the early 2010s with the X-Men. This is about the time when they were they had that island Utopia. So he did some of that Uncanny X-Men story arcs. I know because I've met him. I know it doesn't surprise anybody. Really pleasant guy. Very nice. And I also will say his work has only gotten better with time. So it's really nice to see him kind of back in the X-Men universe, especially kind of from what I understand, Leo, this series is kind of answering a lot of lingering questions that we've seen from Immortal X-Men. And this is, of course, during the fall of the House of X era.
Well, so here's the synopsis. Haunted House of X. How do you kill a digital god? What do you do when the Phoenix is bleeding out into nothing? There's been questions that have haunted you since the end of Immortal X-Men. Finally, some answers. There's also been some questions that have haunted you since the start of Immortal X-Men. Finally, some answers for that as well. And so Gillian's been quoted as saying, X-Men Forever is Luca and myself doing a coda to Immortal X-Men, a requiem for the Krakowian age, and generally setting fire to all time and space. It's the manipulative hand in the steel glove that the rise of the powers of X. By the time it drops, you'll be wondering what on earth is going on with certain characters, and X-Men Forever will give you all the answers.
And Rise of the Powers of X is the series that's kind of going to be taking place following the fall of House of X, essentially explaining where they're at and where they're going to be going in this new direction, since especially like we've said, the Krakoan age is pretty much over. So where do the X-Men go from here?
Yeah. So if you're an X-Men fan, looks like 2024 is going to be hot for you.
Yeah, it's going to be pretty cool. Yeah, and that's our March, right, Leo?
March 20th.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't really have much interest in the X-Men world. I mean, right now, the only book I'm reading that's even involving that is the Spider-Man series with Nightcrawler, which is pretty fun. But beyond that, don't really care. But good luck to them.
How quippy is? I haven't read that series. How quippy is Nightcrawler? Because it seems like when you become a Spider-Man, you have to have the like quip thing going on, and
he's doing pretty good.
Does he do it with an accent? Still, does he like?
I mean, he tries, but of course, Kurt's. Well,
hold on, Carrie. He only does it in an accent if you read it in an accent.
That's true. That's actually that's accurate. Kurt Wagner, the Munich Circus. Listen, I think
we're about down here.
I think he's doing a really good job. Cy Spurrier is doing the story for it. I think he's doing a really good job. I love Kurt in this new light. I never thought I'd see him as a Spider-Man. For me, the stuff with Orcus is very strange because I have no idea who the fuck these guys are. So I'm like, oh, I guess, it's just another shady company that's just hating on mutants. I was like, yeah, because we haven't seen that before. It is what it is, but I just enjoy the story for that. And then the fact that he runs into Silver Sable and there could be a romance there. But that's all I'm going to say. Read on. But correct me if I'm wrong, Mr. Pond. Is that all the news we have for today?
That is all the news.
That's all the news.
All right. So
we just said the news today. Oh boy.
Wow. It only took us almost an hour. I mean, what? But Dick Tracy.
You can close your eyes and make it.
Oh, yeah. So we are doing. We're not going to watch it right now, but
you're a real Dick Tracy.
We're going to talk about the comic versus the movie.
Mm-hmm.
And so, Drew, this was your first time watching the movie.
Yeah.
I've got to actually, I've got to know how you enjoyed it, because it seems like you enjoyed it a lot.
I think for me, if I had to give like a review, I have two. Here's my both reviews. The comic, I had real mixed feelings about, but I think it's because I'm looking at it in a modern context. I have to remember at that time, this stuff was pretty cutting edge.
Well,
this was that
I had to
time.
remind myself of the difference in just the vernacular of how people even spoke.
Yeah, it was
then.
so wordy. Like I felt dumb reading it because I'm like I was like, all right, we got it. Like, oh my God, Tracy, I can't believe that you would leave that corporeous corpse out there in the rain to rot away like a vegetable. No. I'm just like, oh my God, can you just get to the punching?
Well, that's the crazy part. People die in this comic.
I know.
And
like it was crazy. And then it's funny because I actually read because I read a couple of issues and I just couldn't do much more of it. I was like, oh God, like I'm pushing myself hard to read, and I was just like, I'm bored. So then I read a modern retelling that the Allreds, that would be Mike Allred and his wife, did for Image, I believe. It was Image or Dark Horse. I'm not really sure which one. I think it was Image. In 2018, that was Dick Tracy, Dead or Alive. So it kind of had some of the same characters. So I got to really understand them. But it was a little bit more modern, like their phones and stuff. But it still had that old school charm. I mean, he still had the coat and the watch. I liked that. That one kept my attention a little bit more. But the movie, I was like, why do people not talk about this more often? Like, this is actually a really great, in my opinion, I thought it was a really great adaptation. What caught me was the visuals. I was like, the attention to detail in the movie was beautiful. And again, I did the research. I know that this is one of the few last times that they used paintings for background. Because after that, they started using CGI. So, I mean, you look at that, like, oh my God, it's beautiful. I thought the attention to detail was great. I like Warren Beatty as Dick Tracy, just a detective who really loves his job, sometimes a little too much. But the thing for me was, oh my God, like how grotesque they made some of these gangsters. Like it was really brought to life, right down to lips sucking on oysters. I was like, my God, like, how do you kiss somebody? Do you eat them? Like, look.
I love seeing
You're
and then
right
even,
there, yeah.
Even like and then the cameos killed me. Like Pacino being Big Boy and all the prosthetics he wore killed me.
Mumbles, oh my God, I love
Oh,
yeah,
my
Dustin
God,
Hoffman is Mumbles, which he did as a favor to Warren Beatty. So I saw all this star power, and I was just thinking to myself, man, how many favors did this guy, people owe this guy? Like, Jesus. But what really tripped me up was the actor who plays the kid there. That's the same kid who played Jack in Hook. And it was, Hook. And it was also one of the many in the extremely popular teen comedy, Can't Hardly Wait. And then he eventually quit acting, and now he's like a lawyer with a degree in, what was it, Carrie? Degree in physics?
He is an assistant professor of law and the U.S. director of the Canada-U.S. Law Institute in the Case Western Reserve University School of Law, where he teaches courses in corporate law, corporate finance, and torts.
Right. So I just
got
blew me
degrees
away
from Yale and MIT in physics and law.
But yeah, I just loved it, especially even Madonna as Breathless Mahoney. I thought she was fantastic. And I even learned that Sondheim wrote the songs in the movie. I was like, no wonder they were so fucking catchy. Even when they're sung by Mandy Patinkin, who I was like, yo, like the star power in this. I really enjoyed it. I enjoyed it for what it was. It was just a silly comic book adaptation that I felt really captured the essence of the character. very well. Is it perfect? No, but visually gorgeous. And I was like, it was dumb fun. You know, kids now would have no idea who the fuck this guy is. They'd be like, what's this Sin City looking motherfucker? You know?
That's what my kid said.
You know? Because I was like, oh, look, it's the Spirit, but without a mask and in yellow. So, you know?
Yeah, they were nominated for Academy Awards for Best Supporting Actor with Al Pacino, Best Art Direction, which they won, Best Cinematography, Best Costume Design, they were nominated, Best Makeup, they won, Best Original Song, Sooner or Later I Always Get My Man by Stephen Sondheim, they won, and Best Sound. And
I don't know you guys knew this, but Scorsese was supposed to direct this. And he was supposed to direct it, he was going to do it all serious, but the reason he walked is that they wouldn't give him final cut privilege.
Good for him.
So like I said, that was my review. Comic, if you find the right version for you, great. The movie, I thoroughly enjoyed. I don't know if I would own it, but definitely in terms of adaptations, I thought this was probably one of the more faithful ones. So that's Drew's review. Everybody else talk.
Well, I'm right with you for the comic. I'm like, if you find the right one, I finally found where the kid's introduced, Junior is introduced in the comic, and that was a pretty decent story. And also I read some of Flat Top's introduction into the story as well. What was wild is I never got to any part in anything I read where he was wearing the watch and stuff. I'm just like, where's all these cool tech gadgets and stuff, Dick?
I think they started including that, Jeremy, a little later in the 40s to if not early 50s. That's when they started doing more of the two-way radio and the call things and all that jazz. So it was definitely later on in his career. But
in the movie, I'll give you everything. The art was beautiful. Like looking at the different backgrounds and stuff, and there's movement going on still. And it's all like not CGI, which is beautiful, especially the makeup too on some of these people. Incredible. But good Lord, cheesy as could be was this movie. It should have just been called Dick Cheese.
Dick Cheddar.
Dick Cheddar.
Don't Google that, anyone.
Like when I just couldn't find where anybody got their motivation from. Even like Mumbles, like when he gave up Big Boy and it's over a glass of water. They're like, gonna make you sweat under the lights. And he's so
I loved how they caught him in that and how much he was because you're just like, oh, he's just, and he was just saying that, you know, you can actually understand. He actually is saying something. He's not just.
I could have just seen this as a Mystery Science Theater thing, like totally just in there with a few friends busting chops throughout the whole thing. I wish I had you guys like here sitting watching with me, so we could have just been like blah 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 blah. Yeah, Tracy.
I was still dealing with how many cameos of celebrities. Like at one point, I saw Jimmy Kahn and Kathy Bates, and I was like, "What parallel universe misery is this?"
Oh, and the principal from Back to the Future.
Yeah. And even Dick Van Dyke shows up. I'm like, yo, man, the kid's wearing his hat. I'm like, yo, if someone says step in time, I'm done. You know? So I don't know. Carrie, Leo, what did you guys think?
Go for it, Carrie.
No, we were talking about it last night, and Jeremy was like, oh, hey, I'm like, maybe it's not going to be as good as I remember. And I don't think I enjoyed it as much this time around, but I still didn't see anything really wrong with it. It was corny at times, but so is the comic. And so it was like staying true to stuff. When I read the comic in my head, though, because I'd started reading that when I was a little one over at my grandparents, I'd read it in their papers. And I have the, like, when I'm reading the different gangsters, some of the, like, especially just the small town thug kind of guys are like, yeah, see, come over here. See, he's got a copper with him. He's talking to tail. And so that was always going on in my head. And they didn't really talk like that in here, but that was kind of how it went. But I always loved it when I was a kid because it was like, and I've brought up this example a couple of times when we were talking about it. They write the secret codes to each other from jail in milk with a toothpick from the, they get it with their meal, and then they write a secret message and send it to somebody and like heat it up. And so my grandma let us do that, and like the lemon juice and pencil trick and all the different things. But it had all the fun gadgets and the things that, like, when you're little and you can figure things out and the way they do it, it kind of makes sense to you. And it also does have something for the adults to read, like there's an actual plot and stuff, but it kind of had multi-layers of fun. And it was a little bit more complicated in the movie, which is good, because if you would have taken the straight comic and gone just directly to movie, it wouldn't have been that great. I was reading a lot when I did we did a bunch of reads on this, by the way, guys. We had, like, there's so many years of Dick Tracy. It wasn't like we're going to read all of it. We just kind of chose different parts that we wanted to. And reading about the kid's mom and things that, like, they blackmail her and stuff was really some of the various villains in the comic. That's where I, like, latched on and kept reading for a while. And that was really cool, I thought. So, I mean, it wasn't as good as when I was a kid, but I still enjoyed it.
I appreciated when they killed somebody off. That person was dead. I was like, oh, yeah, shit, this isn't comic books. No.
Oh, yeah. And that's another thing I will say is that learning Danny Elfman did the music for this one as well. I was like, yeah, I'm definitely feeling some Batman vibes. Like,
oh yeah,
like there were some moments where I was just like, is there a crossover between the Shadow and the Batman and Dick Tracy out somewhere? Like, what the hell?
Well, even in the final battle in that gear thing in the bad guy falls down into the gears. That's straight from Joker. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. So
Leo.
I just wanted to point this out real quick. When I first started reading the comic, like, this was wicked dark. It was, definitely for shock value. I don't know if you saw this showing, telling kids, be careful riding your bikes, and it shows a kid under a car like he got ran over.
Yeah.
Like, if you're a kid, like, that would scare the crap out of you. But it's no helmets or anything. This is the 30s, so
right.
But yeah,
helmets.
People actually listened.
Yeah. I mean, you're giving information to kids. Yeah, they would actually read that and understand. And it was definitely a tough read for me, as just like the rest of you. It's the comics. It definitely didn't,
they didn't age great.
Yeah,
didn't age right. I mean, you can definitely tell. It's fun thinking back of that time, how people lived in all, and like a lot of this was mainstream, and it's, but just like the detective stories and stuff like that, it didn't catch me. But the movie, on the other hand, I really enjoyed the movie. I haven't seen it I think the last time I saw it was when I owned it on VHS, and that was probably shortly after it came out. I mean, I remember enjoying it when I was a kid watching it. I was a teenager. But now rewatching it, and catching all the stuff I missed, like Breathless Mahoney, a lot of stuff she said was like borderline, like pornographic.
In the beginning, you practically get to see her full chest.
Thank you.
I'm like, hold on, this is PG.
Yeah, I was like, and it's actually funny you bring that up, Jeremy, because I read something that when they would rehearse, Madonna would frequently flash Al Pacino Like she would just show, and she would just be completely naked underneath like a long coat. And Pacino said, "Man, when I go senile, I'm just going to enjoy that memory of what I've seen for time to come." And I'm just thinking to myself,
Talk
yeah,
about grabby
that's
too.
fair.
In his scene where he's they're learning the number, like he's like slapping her ass and fucking just grabbing everything. I'm just like, all right.
Yeah,
this was PG in 1990.
And I'm just thinking to myself, like, this is Touchstone, which is technically still Disney. And I was like, and Disney, and that's Madonna's nipples. I was like, I don't know if we're going to see this in any Kingdom of Hearts, but okay.
That would be funny.
Sorry, Friday. I don't see the Twitch comments. That's actually going through a different service. So we're broadcasting this all over the place. So there's a bunch of stuff. Unfortunately, I don't see. I only see the comments from a select few areas. So I
Twitch. Oh man.
Yeah.
But you know, again, it was fun. But I agree with Jar. There were some moments where I was like, oh God. Like, especially it's like I've chosen a name, Dick Tracy Jr. I was like, oh God, kid, go back to school, please.
So
he didn't want to go to school.
You know,
don't want to wear a suit. That means school. That means the orphanage. I'm not going to the orphanage. Kid, you smell. Go get dressed.
You know, and then I also enjoyed that Dick Tracy had those two lackeys. One of them is very much clearly Irish, and the other one is clearly, I don't know, something else.
Oh, did you see Miles O'Brien in there?
Yeah, I did. I was just like, what the? I was like, I can't. I just can't.
I get it now. This is a holodeck adventure.
Like I said, it just, there is so much there, and it really did have the pulp vibes. And I give credit for Warren Beatty investing so much into this, and it still was one of the highest grossing films of his career.
Well, he still owns the rights to it, right? As well, right?
I think so.
Yeah, Mandy Patinkin. Yeah, he was awesome.
He hasn't really done much afterwards, has he? Like, I was talking to Mom about it, and she was like, yeah, I remember that film, but has he actually acted since? Has he done much?
Well, he'll be forever known as fucking up the the Academy Awards or something like that.
What? You confused us all.
I don't watch the Academy Awards, so I don't know. I remember, like, I knew somebody slapped somebody at one, and
no. This was what was it? Moon something. He opened the wrong envelope and read out the wrong winner.
Nice.
Oh,
good for him.
And it was like the main one. It was like movie of the
best
movie.
actor. Best movie.
Best movie. Yeah.
Wow.
Was that so much his fault as the person who is handing him the envelope?
Oh yeah, totally. But I mean, he's the one that actually read it, so it was
Oh, it's okay. I mean, we've seen
shifting blame.
We've seen stars make some big mistakes like that. Like, I still don't understand, Travolta calling Idina Menzel Adele Dazeem. I was like, I'm sorry, John. We need to stop the fever. You know, there's no longer a phenomenon.
Phenomena.
No, mom. But
My
mom wants us to do that, by the way. So I'm going to have to tell her that we just did.
She wants
us to what?
She wants us to watch.
I was talking about. No, I was talking to her about how we do different. Like, we were talking about, we do different parodies about the show, and she's like, and I was like working on one for the month, and she's like, "You're going to do a whole parody where you guys are just like phenomenon."
Phenomena.
I remember when they did that for Muppets.
I could do this all
send that
night.
to my mom now.
I remember they did that for Muppets Tonight with Cindy Crawford, and she got really into it to the point where she was just like phenomenal. She's just head banging and everything, and Kermit and the puppets are like, the hell? Yeah, it was
awesome.
It was pretty great. I'm not gonna lie.
And we learned it was cancer the whole time.
Get out.
Bringing it back to Phenomena.
Get
Yeah,
out.
that's what we did. Oh, we're listening to Art Bell. Phenomenon.
Get out,
Phenomenon.
Jeremy. Phenomena. Get out, Carrie too. Phenomena. And then there's still Drew trying to
Leo.
say good night, everybody. It's Splash Pages tonight. No, but no, like I said, there's not really much more I can say. Like, I thought, while the comic is very much a product of its time, and unfortunately does not age as well as some comics have, I thought the movie was fairly accurate, beautifully done. I also kind of find it funny. I feel like it's kind of been forgotten. And it's kind of surprising because in terms of comic book adaptations before Marvel and DC owned the market, it was pretty close.
Yeah,
So
they kept it to 7 color palette through the entire thing. And I love that. The doors match the hat, matches the outfit, matches the booth, in the reds and stuff like that.
Yeah. But I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. Is there anything really more to say?
Not really, no.
If you haven't watched it, go out and watch it.
There you go.
It's I think it's on. You can watch it for free, like on Tubi or something like that.
Mhm.
If you don't own it, obviously
Probably just find it on YouTube.
Yeah. Well,
at this point,
there you go.
Yeah, and YouTube might charge you or something.
Screw 'em.
But yeah. But for the most part, I'd say we liked it. It's not a perfect movie, as Jar would want to remind everybody.
Yes,
it has its flaws. It has its
got
cheese.
an ultimate cast. It's got great art, and that it sticks so well to the comic. Those are 3 really good things going for it. If you've never seen it, you owe it to yourself just to see it. So
I agree with that statement. You should see it yourself at least once.
Well, also, if you think of that era, I mean, the comic book movies, we talked about all 3 tonight. Punisher in 89, Batman in 89, and Dick Tracy in 90.
Right. It was still a really unexplored genre.
Totally.
Because a lot of times, a lot of the nerd stuff was really TV, the Incredible Hulk show and other things like Spider-Man or all that, where they tried, but by God, we weren't there yet.
No.
Yeah.
No, we were. Did we have Fantastic Four yet?
No, that was 81, 82. Talking about Roger Corman's version, right? Yeah, I think that was the 80s.
Oh, okay.
Because we still weren't there yet either.
No.
God, we really weren't. But yeah, so I feel like that's kind of a nice way to end it. Is the comic? I would say stick to a really more modern retelling if you really want to know Dick Tracy's story. So 90s, early 2000s kind of stuff. If you're a Golden Age enthusiast, you will love original Dick Tracy.
Yeah.
If you are not, boy, that shit's gonna drag.
Yeah.
So, and the movie is, if you've never seen it, give yourself a chance. Just remember, it was financed somewhat by Disney, so it's not going to be, Frank Miller presents Dick Tracy.
And don't sit there trying to see Madonna the whole time.
Yeah,
she did. I thought she did pretty good through it.
Oh no, she did great. Wow, yeah.
I was impressed.
As well as any other person in the movie.
I was just like, man, Dick Tracy's got these 2 dames fawning over him. I was like, look at this guy.
He can probably care less about the both of them too. He's just like, I want to go solve crime.
Yeah,
exactly. How can I think about romance when Big Boy is still breathing air and committing crime?
Lips Mancini.
I was like, the guy can't even at the end propose to his longtime love.
Right?
You got Tess. Yeah. You're one in a million. I'm gonna throw you this ring because I can't say you want to marry and live with me because I'm a macho man. Can't
I
you
really
tell by
like
the
that
yellow
Dane.
suit?
And definitely, listen very carefully to Madonna's character, Breathless Mahoney, because she has some zingers in there that fly right under the radar. Just like I said, it's like borderline pornographic. It's just
Let it go, Leo.
it's hilarious.
Oh no, it is.
Women over here.
It is, but yeah, it's like I said, it's definitely something you can rewatch. I feel like Jeremy is like, yeah, kids, let's have movie night. Let's watch Dick Tracy. What the fuck is this, Dad?
Oh man.
I feel like Jeremy, you would be cut off from movie choices for a while. I was like, Dad, do you remember the Dick Tracy thing? You're cut off.
Oh, they know every time that they're gonna sit down and watch a movie with me that it could end up being a real stinker, or it could just be really like I want to sit them down to watch Cool Hand Luke, but I don't know if they can handle black and white.
No.
I just have to say I rented out when I was a kid thinking it was going to have Luke Skywalker in it.
Cool.
Okay, Leo, you're adorable when you weren't cutting snakes' heads off, okay? So that's all I'm going to say to you. So, Leo, with that note, do you want to sign us off?
Oh, yeah. So Raz says Drew would not survive on Tomb, LOL.
It's Tomb of the Terrible, one of our shows where we watch horrible horror movies.
Excuse me. Actually, no, Mr. Raz, if you please. I would thrive amazingly because what I would do is take your review and it would turn into a different version of Mystery Science Theater 3000 because I would go ham. Okay, I would go ham with some crackers on that shit. So, Q, I love you, Q, though. Leo, sign us off because I'm not taking any more of this.
I want to thank everybody for watching this fine evening. You know me, just Google me. You'll find a bunch of stuff. Could be true, could be not. I'm not going to say which is which, but I run the Dorkening Podcast Network. There's a ton of awesome people doing a lot of awesome stuff. So head on over to thedorkening.com. You can learn more there. And we'll kick it off with Jar Jar.
Hey, it's the end of the show. We got to go. Check out this show every Tuesday at 8. Friend me on Facebook, Jeremy Courtney. Comic book lovers, buy, sell, trade, and auction house is a great place to go buy, sell, and trade all your wonderful nerd stuff. And the re-education of Nancy Ann Ritter. Check it out. Do it wherever you can find a podcast. It's there.
Woohoo!
Woo!
Carrie.
Hey everybody. You can find me at Carrie Sanders on Facebook. Spelled like that. If you see a crow, that's me. Myself and Ratatosker are not only on splash pages here on The Dorkening, we are also over at the Owlite Network, where we do a lot of different storytelling shows. We're on every Sunday at 8 p.m. Central, 9 Eastern, doing some sort of storytelling thing, whether we're interviewing somebody or just having a group of people sit around and tell stories. We do that. We do the Tomb of the Terrible that we were just talking about on Monday nights and random other fun things that we have coming up in the next season. So catch me here, catch me there, catch me wherever. Read my stuff. I actually write things. I'm published. You can find everything around there. So
very cool, Mr. Drew.
That's it, folks.
You guys know everything that's already about me. I'm Drew.
Scrolling.
I'm here on Tuesday. You can look at the bottom of the screen if you want to hit me up on Instagram because they will remind you every time of what my name is. I'm here. I'm there. I'm really busy working on stuff. So if it takes me a minute to get back to you, it's not you. It's really me, as in, wait your goddamn turn. Love you all. Bye.
Well, it's time to face the music and hit the lights. See you later.
Bye.
good night, everybody.
Good night, everyone.